last Thursday, I believe, we went over food chains and food webs and what they were, right?
Yes.
So can anybody tell me what a food chain is? Hannah.
It's where like different animals eat other animals.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone want to add to that? Max.
It'd be like a grasshopper eats grass and like the spider eats a grasshopper and then like a spider.
No, you got it.
And then the
you're on
lizard
right
eats
track.
the spider.
Yeah, there you go. You're on the right track. That's a good job. Okay, and what about a food web? Zane.
It's multiple food chains interlocked together.
Yep. Does anyone else want to add to that? Good job. Grace.
So like, grass, you have grass, and you have a bunny, squirrel, and grasshopper, and then those three things eat the grass.
Yeah.
And then you have another three animals that eat the bunny and the grass.
Right, right. So a food web, what she's saying is the bunny eats the grass, the mouse eats the grass, and then the bird would come and eat the mouse, and then this bird would eat the snake, and then this bird would also eat the grasshopper. So it's a food web is numerous food chains inside of a food web. Okay. What about a prey? What's a prey? Beatrice.
It's the animal that a predator eats.
Yep. And is it a noun or a verb? Mark? Both. Both. How's it both? Max, can you give me an example? How it's a noun? How is prey a noun? Just give me an example of a prey.
Predator like eats prey.
You're okay. You're fine. Grayson, do you want to help him out?
Like, the grasshopper is prey to the bird.
Yeah. So it's. Do you understand that? So the prey is an animal, so it's a thing. Okay. How's it a verb? TJ.
Like someone could be prey.
That would still be a noun. Katie?
When a predator eats a prey, it's called being preyed on.
Yeah. So a wolf is preying on a deer. Okay. What about a herbivore? Bryce, you want to take a shot?
When an animal eats grass and meat.
Oh, Jaden?
An animal that eats grass.
Yep. So a herbivore is an animal that only eats plants and grass. Okay. Carnivore? Hannah?
An animal that only just eats meat.
Okay. Yep. An omnivore? Ella?
An animal that eats grass and meat.
Yep. Okay. What about a producer? What's a producer? Atris, what's a producer?
Like a plant.
Yeah. What does plant produce? Molly? Energy. Okay. So over here we have the flower that produces energy when the bug eats the flower. Okay. So the flower gives energy off to the bug, and then the bug gives energy off to the fish. So the fish gets its energy from the bug. Okay. So what's a consumer? Layton, what's a consumer?
A consumer is like it's the predator. It consumes it. It eats it.
Yep. Yeah. So right here, the eagle would be the consumer, and the snake would be the producer, because the snake produces energy and gives it to the eagle. Understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. And what is deforestation? Do you guys remember what this is?
Oh yeah.
Bryce?
Like when they clear out trees to make it clear.
Yep. So deforestation is clearing a forest, an area in the forest. So if you think about it, we have deforestation. So if we break it up, what type of word is this first? Zane.
A verb.
What, like, is it a compound word?
Oh.
Max?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
Okay, so we have D, and then we can break it up. So we have forest, and we have D. So you find forest, and then what does D mean?
Oh.
Katie.
No.
You're okay. Grace?
It's not. Or
Not, yeah, you're on the right track. Atris.
Like the opposite of.
You're all right. Bryce?
To take it away?
Yeah, so we have forest, and if you put D, which means to take away, you're taking away the forest. So if you break up the words, you can figure out the meaning that way. Okay? All right, so I think we got all of our vocab words. So now we're going to watch a video, just a little review on food chains and food webs. So if you guys want to turn your chairs around.
you have to turn the speaker.
Not everybody likes the same kind of food, right? That's probably a good thing. I mean, all the more pizza for me. But whether we eat milkshakes or mangoes, pizzas or pears, tacos or toast, we use the energy that's in our food to stay alive. But how did that energy get into our food in the first place? The answer is that energy flows between living things. It's almost like each form of food is a link in a chain. A food chain. You might have heard that humans are on the top of the food chain because we eat pretty much everything, and except for the occasional video game monster and maybe the odd bear, nothing tries to eat us. But what is a food chain exactly? A food chain is a model that shows how energy flows between living things. You can think of animals and plants in the same food chain as all living in the same neighborhood, which scientists call a habitat. And they all have a job to do, interacting with each other day in and day out. Together, they form a kind of system, a self-contained collection of different things that all work together as a whole. And they also interact with the non-living stuff around them, like the water, the air, the ground, and the sun. Put it all together, and what do you get? A special system called an ecosystem. And food chains show us what eats what in an ecosystem. Now, everything that's alive is in a food chain, including you, my friend. And actually, most living things are in more than one food chain, depending on what or who they're munching on at the moment. I mean, you don't eat the same thing for dinner every night, do you? Didn't think so. Now, let's see how a food chain works by making a diagram of how these interactions happen in nature. First, all of the energy that's in a food chain starts with the sun. I can't stress that enough, people. Plants take the energy from the sun's rays and change it into chemical energy. So when a nice patch of lush green grass starts to grow, it's capturing some of the energy from the sun to do it. Then when an animal, like a rabbit, wanders by and nibbles on that grass, the energy from the plant is transferred into the rabbit's body. Now, if a hungry hawk decides that the rabbit would make a yummy supper, then the energy from the rabbit is transferred to the hawk. And in this ecosystem, nothing is large or brave enough to take on the hawk. I mean, just look at her. So we've hit the top of the food chain, and we've just made a nifty model of it. So, a food chain is a model that shows how energy flows between living things in an ecosystem. Energy in a food chain starts with the sun, which is turned into chemical energy by plants. And this energy moves up the food chain as animals eat the plants, and then other animals eat those animals. And speaking of energy, I'm starving, so I'm off to take my place in the food chain. See you next time.
Okay. All right, so you can turn your chairs back. Anna, do you have a question?
Want me to turn the lights?
Yes, please. Thank you. So they said that we're at the top of the food chain. Do you think we're prey to any other animals?
No.
No.
You don't think we're prey?
Well,
What if you're hunting?
oh
Is it a mountain lion?
Yeah. Maybe.
But they're just scared.
Yeah.
Sharks.
Do you think mountain lions and
Bear.
try hunting us for food?
No.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
That's why you have to be careful out hunting. Because there are animals out there like wolves. Wolves hunt humans, right? And bears. What else? What other animals hunt us? Can you think of any more? Zane?
Sharks.
Yeah, sharks will eat you in the ocean, right? Mm-hmm. So we are also prey. Katie? Piranhas. Piranhas, yep. So